Talking with Alex and Anaya, and we're going back to last fall after the Emerald Down season. Alex went down to Grants Pass, had a great run down at Grants Pass, but in the last race, on the last night, is that right, Alex? Is the very last race of the
Last
meet?
race.
You're in it. Everything is fine, right? The gates open, and then it was kind of like, the night the lights went out in Georgia happened here on the West Coast, and the night the lights went out at Grants Pass. Tell us
Sure.
this very odd story and what it was like to be in the middle of it.
Well, pretty terrifying, to say the least. Yeah. So I remember you know, I was just barely getting positioned right where I wanted to be, and the first set of lights went off, and the ones in the turn were still on, and I thought, for a split second, I thought, well, maybe we could make it around. I didn't know what was going on. Of course, something like that happens. When you're going 35 miles an hour on a horse, you're in shock, right?
Right, right.
So, yeah, I was just kind of thinking that when the next set of lights go out, and we're going into the first turn, I've got a horse on my outside in front of me. I've got the whole field behind me, and my horse is dropping, right? Because he's getting ready to take those sharp turns down there. It's a half-mile track, and next thing I know, it was pitch black. I couldn't see a thing. My eyes hadn't adjusted. The horse's eyes didn't obviously adjust, and she went straight to the rail. Flung me forward. I remember rolling, landed, and just rolling, and a few horses went over me, and thankfully, I don't know how, but the only thing that broke was a toe. And the guy behind me, actually, he had it a little more worse. He broke a few ribs. But yeah, that's how that went.
I mean, unfortunately, none of the horses got hurt either, or anything like that.
No, thankfully, all the horses were able to get caught. No horses were injured. There was a few scratches on my horse that, like I said, hit the rail a little bit, but nothing serious on the horse's part. It was mostly the riders that were injured that night, and
Escaped a crazy, crazy finish at Grants Pass. And thankfully everyone, and thankfully we can sit here and talk about what a weird and crazy night that was, and it wasn't more tragic than that. So,
it sure made
how long did it
story.
take for the lights to come back on? Did they come back on?
They did. It actually took a long time. They couldn't. It was what made the situation scarier was they wouldn't come back on, and so the ambulance couldn't actually get on the track to come pick us up. And it actually took about 20 minutes, I think, for the lights to finally
Jeez.
turn back on. So
I guess who found you? Outrider came around, or?
no, actually, the first guys that came up to me were the guys that I was riding for. I was riding a lot for Georgie Rosales down there, and it was his brothers that came to my aid, and they stayed with me, thankfully, till the paramedics got there and kind of calmed us down, and they were able to calm the other rider down, and
Take care of
everything was good.
Yeah, wow. What a night. Well, let's hope that you don't ever have to use that experience again.
I'm not planning on it.
All right. That was a crazy night. Thanks, Alex.
Thank you.